Hello, my name is Hans George Campbell. I released the original version of my map, HGC City, back in September of 2023. A few months later, I released the revised version of the map, HGC City Revision 1. Even though it was the best city map ever created for GZDoom, most players hated it, and the map received negative reviews. Players complained about not being able to Freelook or mouselook, and they did not like the fact that jumping and crouching was not enabled by default. Also, because of the quests, they could not use their favorite weapon mods or monster mods. I read the reviews and posts about HGC City, and you guys are correct. All Doom maps created for a modern Doom port like GZDoom should have Freelook, jumping, and crouching enabled by default. Also, you guys want Doom maps that play nice with Doom mods. Well, I am proud to announce that I did a complete overhaul of my map, HGC City. It is now mod-friendly and should play nice with most mods. Freelook, jumping, and crouching are enabled by default. Most of the quests have been removed. You get all of the weapons by the time you leave the shipyard. Also, all custom monsters, except for Thamuz, have been removed. HGC City MFV is larger than the original map. It has new graphics, new buildings, voxel vehicles, and more monsters. I think you guys are really going to enjoy playing HGC City mod-friendly version. All right, this is the original version of HGC City Revision 1, loaded up in GZDoom Builder. And two of the main differences between the new version and this version is that if you notice, there's a huge chunk of real estate right here that's not being used. Okay? There's a huge chunk of real estate right here that's not being used. This here is Campbell Warehouse. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. So what I've decided to do, in fact, let me zoom out just a little bit. 10%. Yeah. Actually, zoom in a little bit. Okay. What I decided to do, if you notice, there's a door right here. And there's a line def right here. So, in the new version of HGC City, the mod-friendly version, as soon as you cross this line def to grab that key, which you have to do to grab the key, it lowers this gate. This way, the player does not have to walk all the way around to get to the other side to turn in the quest. They can just go right through the shipyard. Okay? And I decided to add detailing on the inside of Campbell Warehouse right here. And there's a door here, and there's a door that lets you out right over here. So when you turn in the armor bonus quest after finding the 40 armor bonuses that are throughout the map, that NPC opens up this door, allowing you to get inside of Campbell Warehouse. Okay? When you turn in the health bonus quests after collecting the 40 health bonuses, then that NPC opens up the second door. So allowing you to go into the Campbell Warehouse and go through it and come out to this area over here. And what's in this area is a beautiful residential area with 6 houses. And of course, this industry here is much more detailed. They have streets, I have street lights and crosswalks and trees and cars and trucks. I added a lot more detailing right here, okay? You know, so you got a little bit more map to play. And then over here in the yard of this house, you'll find the life sphere, which gives you 800 health. And over here you'll find the armor sphere, which gives you 800 armor. So you want to do those 2 quests to get through here, to get to this residential area, to get those 2 spheres, which will help you survive the final rooftop battle and the battle against Thamuz. Okay, my super cyber demon. But yeah, that's one of the main changes. The other thing that I did is I deleted these. Well, I deleted all of this. These 4 apartment complexes here. I deleted all of this. This is no longer here in the new version of this map. I mean, it was good, but it was kind of boring. Actually, no, I kept this part here. I deleted just this part. These four apartment buildings right here. That's what I deleted. And in their place, I added 2 grain silos that are based on real grain silos, a highly detailed industrial area, and I added a grain ship right here. A beautiful grain ship that is also based on a real grain ship. And I think it'll be a lot more interesting. There's a whole big battle that goes on in this area here, and it's fun. It looks really nice, and I think players, people that like to play with the maps, I think they'll appreciate the 2 major changes that I did to HGC City, mod-friendly version. So yeah, now I'm going to close this map, right, and I'll load up the new version of HGC City. And the new version of the map is called HGC City MFV, which stands for Mod Friendly Version. I'm going to load up revision 4 because I'm putting the finishing touches on it, and then eventually it'll be resaved with this file name here. And it'll be zipped up with the text file, and yeah. But let's load up the map. HGC City Mod Friendly Version, or MFV. Okay, as you can see, let me zoom into that one area. See, this is the inside of the warehouse right here. Okay, and then you come out here, and then this is an industrial area, parking lot. You have 6 houses here. Now, this house here is based on the house that I've been living in for the past 3 decades. So, and then the rest of the houses are just the same style of house. They're just different color siding, different color roof shingles, or whatever. Another thing I did with the new version of HGC City is I removed all the hand-drawn vehicles like cars and trucks, the small cars and trucks, and I replaced them with voxel cars and trucks. They're a lot more detailed, and I think you guys are really going to appreciate what I did. So yeah. And over here is the new grain yard. Let me zoom in to 25%. See if I can fit that in. But yeah, this is all based on real grain silos. Okay, this is for dry storage right here. This is a grain silo. That's a grain silo. This is a grain ship. It's all based on real. I mean, it's based on reality. So yeah. Okay, so let's load up the map. I'm loaded up in ultraviolet mode with no monsters. Okay, so that's coming up next. That right there is the new sky texture. In order for me to enable Freelook or mouse look, I had to use a more advanced skybox. I could not use a simple one texture skybox like you would use in normal Doom with mouse look or Freelook turned off, because it would look weird. This is one of the things that many of you fail to realize about mouse look and Freelook, is that if you're using normal skyboxes, and I'd say at least 90% of all Doom maps out there use simple one texture skyboxes, when you Freelook or mouse look, it's going to look really weird. The higher you look, it's going to look weird, because that type of a skybox is not meant to be viewed up like that. So in order to make Freelook look good, you have to use what is called a 6 texture skybox. And what that is, you have six separate textures that are used to produce the entire skybox. You have a north texture, an east texture, a south texture, a west texture, and you have a top texture and a bottom texture. And these 6 textures combined produce the entire skybox, which looks good when Freelook or mouse look is enabled. So that's one of the first things I had to do. I mean, you wanted Freelook enabled, so I had to use a different, more advanced skybox in order to make that happen. That right there is one of my tugboats. It is based on a real tugboat, drawn to scale. It's based on a real tugboat. Okay, and you can see across the river there's the new grain silo industry with the grain ship, and that's all based on reality, and it's drawn to scale. So that right there is the first secret in the map, up there. So we'll go up there. Okay, now in skill levels 1 and 2, you get the blue armor. Okay, you do not get the armor sphere, which gives you 800 armor. In skill levels 1 and 2, because of how easy they are, you get a blue armor instead. But in skill levels 3 and 4 and 5, of course, because the difficulty is ramped up quite a bit, I felt, well, in order to give a player a fighting chance, that I would give them, in those skill levels, I would give them the armor sphere, which will give them 800 armor. And trust me, you're going to need it in skill levels, skill levels 3, 4, and 5, especially in ultraviolet mode. So we'll grab that. That's the first secret in the map, and you get to it by going through that second door there. There's one of the voxel vehicles, a forklift. I removed all of my hand-drawn cars and trucks, and I replaced them with voxel vehicles. There's a yellow forklift. The other one was orange. That's the yellow one. This is all new graphics here. The pallets with the wooden barrels of probably, I don't know, wine or beer. Ooh, probably wine. That's probably what's in there, wine or whiskey. Yeah. They're usually shipped in wood barrels like that. Anyway, that's all new graphics right there. Because there was nothing here. And so I thought, well, it looks kind of boring, you know. So why don't I just add some details over here? So I did. You know. Yeah. This cargo ship is based on a real cargo ship. And it is drawn to scale. That's why it's so huge. And by cargo ship standards, that right there is actually a small cargo ship. Cargo ships are the largest ships in the world. This is the second secret in here, in this big truck. Now, in skill levels 1 and 2, you get a soul sphere. Okay. But in skill levels 3, 4, and 5, I give you a life sphere, which gives you 800 health. And you're going to need it, especially in ultraviolet mode. You're going to need it. Yeah. So, yeah, you get a life sphere. That gives you 800 health, right? Okay. Now, another thing I did was, if you notice, in the old version, or the original version of HGC City, the cargo containers were basically the same top and bottom. Well, I had to redraw the graphics to make it look like there's different cargo containers on top of each other. See how it looks? To me, it looks more realistic when you do it that way. You know, when you have different cargo containers on top of each other. It makes it look more realistic. It makes it look more interesting. You can really tell from over here, this vantage point here, that looks more realistic. See, it looks a lot more realistic. And so that's one of the big changes I did in HGC City. This is the mod-friendly version, right? Okay. Let's go up here to the control tower. Look out the windows. Oh wait, there's a lot more. A lot of change. I made a lot of changes in this map. Okay, that right there lowers that gate. Right there. Okay. I give the player a sphere of invisibility. That helps them deal with the 4 revenants that is guarding that gate down there. Helps you deal with them. Now let's go ahead and grab it. I don't need it. Okay. Now in the shipyard, I give you the shotgun, the chain gun, and the chainsaw and the berserker pack. These are the weapons that you get here in the shipyard. When you leave the shipyard, the first thing you want to do is you want to go into the weapons store and you want to grab all the weapons. I removed all the quests where you had to kill monsters to get credits, and then you would use the credits to buy the more powerful weapons. Well, most players hated that. They hated that, and they wanted it removed, so I heard you guys, and I removed those quests. So now you just come in here and you just grab your weapons. I added the flags, because a lot of times you'll have U.S. flags in a place that sells weapons and ammo. You'll usually find flags like that. Okay. So this is where you get some ammo. So yeah, now, by the time you leave the weapons store here, the weapon shop here, you should have all of your weapons. And, ammo. You should be pretty much filled up with ammo on those weapons. The next thing you want to do is you want to go into the Hans's Balls store. Now, I did change the way the store looks on the inside because it's supposed to be creepy and mysterious and magical, right? So I used sector actions, color setters to make it blue. And then I used I did effective use, or made effective use of dynamic lighting, because the light is shining down onto the floor through that window opening. Okay, this NPC collect 40 armor bonuses. Now these are the only 2 quests that are still in the map, but these quests I found do not interfere with most mods. And they're fun to do. You know, you're running around the map trying to find all these health bonuses and armor bonuses. It makes for a fun, for some fun gameplay. So I decided to leave these quests in the map. See, collect 40 health bonuses. Then report back to me. Okay. Those types of quests there, they do not affect most mods. They do not interfere with most mods, like Brutal Doom or your monster packs or whatever. They will still work just fine in this new version of HGC City, mod-friendly version. Okay, these NPCs here, they open up these doors. Okay, the reason why they're not appearing is because I have monsters turned off, but with monsters turned on, they do appear, so don't worry about that. Now, these are here in all skill levels. You use them at your leisure, whenever you want to. Okay, that one I would save for when you're going across the bridge, and after you kill those arachnotrons that are guarding the bridge, right before you face those cyber demons, I would come back and grab that. Okay, that right there is a sphere or a ball. That is a sphere or a ball. That is a sphere or a ball. And that is a sphere or a ball. Hence the name of this store, Hans's Balls. A play on words. Okay, other things I did, I added more dynamic lighting in the map to make it look better. That's one of the changes I made. In the original version of HGC City, that was not lit up. Now it is, and as you can see, it makes it look more beautiful. It makes it look more realistic. So yeah, that's one of the changes I made. So let's go ahead and grab this first armor bonus. We'll grab that. I'll show you where all the armor bonuses are and all the health bonuses. Now, this is the west side. On the west side, there is 30 armor bonuses. On the east side, which is across the river, you'll find the other 10 armor bonuses to finish up this quest. And you'll find all 40 of the health bonuses on the east side. Okay, all the vehicles have been replaced except for the large trucks here. All of the vehicles have been replaced by Vauxhall vehicles, as you can see here. Okay, got new cars and trucks and station wagons. I just think they look more realistic. You know, so you got pickup trucks, you got vans. Yeah. Some of the detailing that I added. Yeah, there's a station wagon right there. Okay. A pink van and an orange car. Let me go get this other, yeah, armor bonus. Okay. And then inside the 7-Eleven store, I added more detailing. Like in a 7-Eleven store, you have a coffee pot, you have coffee cups, paper cups for people coming in the morning to grab their coffee or whatever, you know. Yeah. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's go over to here. Yeah. I changed the details here. I made it look more realistic right there. I think it looks nicer. In the original map, there was just a bunch of trash there, like a heap of trash. I didn't think that looked good enough, so I decided to add those details there. And I think it looks better. I really did. I think it looks better. Here's another secret. This armor sphere only appears in skill levels 3, 4, and 5. In skill levels 1 and 2, this is a blue armor. Okay? It's a blue armor. In skill levels 1 and 2. Okay, so I did grab that one. Alright. Okay. This right here is a police car. It's got its flashing lights on, right? And he has stopped a white Lotus for speeding. I don't know if James Bond is inside that Lotus or not, but yeah, the police have stopped James Bond for speeding. Yeah, he was speeding. Okay. Another change that I did to the map is on the original HGC City map. That right there was up on the 4th floor, and it looked weird. It just did not look right. So I used GZDoom's 3D flooring effect to lower that to the 2nd floor, and as you can see, I think it looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. A lot better. More effective use of dynamic lighting. Yes, Doom is playing at the theater tonight. Let's go inside here and check it out. I'm going to go in through this door. And in a lot of theaters, the front lobby here will have like red lights. And what this is for is to help acclimate your eyes to the dark, so that when you finally go into the theater, your eyes will be adjusted to the dark. And so I use sector color setters to create this light pink or light red coloring. And I think it looks good this way, right? I think it looks realistic. There's a cash register with monitor, you know. Yeah. Now the theater here is based on a real theater. As you can see, okay, Keiko demons, yeah, they love my city. They do. You will find a lot of Keiko demons in HGC City. But you see how the projector is up there? Projectors are usually in the ceiling or behind a wall, but the usual on modern theaters are in the ceiling like that. The projector is actually upstairs. And then it shines on the screen here, right? So that's correct. And then you have your chairs going up like that. That's how it is in a real theater, where you go up, you go into your chairs, whatever, you know. This is how it is in a real theater. See? Everything's drawn to detail and to scale and everything, right? So, yeah. There's the movies that will be coming out soon in the theater, right? Yeah. Yeah. We've got some more Vauxhall cars and trucks in here. I think they look pretty cool. Yeah. I like my little, like, Jeep. I think that's a Jeep Cherokee. I think it's pretty cool. Little station wagon. Now, one thing about these cars, they're all high performance. Look at them. Every one of these cars have dual exhausts. In real life, most cars do not have dual exhausts. There's a taxi. You'll usually find taxis near a hotel. See, that sign's lit up. It was not lit up like that in the original map. Okay. The building textures, I redid these bank textures because on the original version it had windows down here. That didn't look right. It didn't look right because the inside of the bank, the bottom floor is the whole. The bank occupies the whole bottom floor. So you see any windows here inside? No, you don't. So that doesn't make sense. I added details here. You know. Now you can go inside there. And you can now go inside here. Okay. If you need any of that. Now these lights, the lamps on the desk, I had to script those so that they light up. That's all new graphics, and they actually do light up. Okay, the bonsai plants are new graphics. Those coffee machines there are new. Coffee cups are new. The paper cups are new. New graphics. You can grab that if you need it. Okay. More effective use of dynamic lighting. I thought this makes these rear entrances look more realistic. And again, because the 7-Eleven store basically takes up the whole bottom floor, you would not have windows on the bottom floor, only on the second, third, and fourth floor. So, and same thing with a bank building. So I had to custom draw these textures to make it fit the type of buildings that I was creating, right? The same thing with the movie theater. Okay, no windows on the bottom floor, only on the second, third, and fourth floor to make it look more realistic. Okay? And I think it worked out pretty good. Okay, I added more details here in the strip mall or eatery. Before these tables and chairs were not in front of the restaurants. It was just a boring, blasé sidewalk. So I decided to add these details. I think it looks better that way. And also the signs now have dynamic lighting so that they actually light up. And this shows up effectively, is really effective on over here in the coffee shop. If you look at the coffee shop now, it appears to really glow. That's effective use of dynamic lighting. Yeah. Okay. All right. Should be one near the bus at the bus stop here. All right, looking good. Okay. Another secret is over here. We'll go up there. Yeah, we'll go up there. We'll go up there. You have to plop down here to get this armor bonus. Okay. So far we got, what, 22 armor bonuses? Alright, that's looking good. I added some new trees. That's a new tree there. Yeah, I added new trees and new plants. Yeah, that's a new tree. I'll show you the other ones, you know, when I get to them. These lights here, those are brand new light graphics. They're brand new lights. That's a new light. The sidewalks now have cobblestones. I mean, the crosswalks. They now have cobblestones. This was not here in the original map. That's a new light right there. And I had to make all of these three new lights, I had to make them glow using scripting. The scripting will not affect mods, so don't worry about that. It's just to cause these lights to glow, because without the scripting, these lights did not glow. They did not light up. So, and I wanted them to light up. So now they look really good. Effective use of dynamic lighting, right there. Okay. Alrighty. More Vauxhall vehicles, including a white van. This industry here is based on a real electronics company that I used to work for. So I know what it looks like. Yeah, this is all based on a real electronics company. Yeah. You can out jump, jumping and crouching and free looks now enabled. See, you can free look. That's what you guys wanted, so you've got it. I've given it to you. Effective use of dynamic lighting. Subtle detailing on those liquid nitrogen tanks, so that's a chip manufacturing plant there. And near a plant like that, you'll always see liquid nitrogen tanks. I think the taller tanks with the red lights, those are liquid nitrogen. The smaller tanks are usually plastics, like plastic beads that are used for injection molding machines. That's what's usually in the smaller tanks. Okay, I got 28 of those so far. Okay, more effective use of dynamic lighting. Okay, watch what happens when you cross this threshold. See how that gate now lowers? So this way the player doesn't have to go all the way around to get to the other side. They can just go right through the shipyard. That's right. Now, when you turn in the armor bonuses quests, that NPC, because this is Campbell Warehouse, right? He opens up that door, allowing you to go into that warehouse. When you turn in the health bonuses quest, that NPC opens up the second door, allowing you to get into the residential area that's behind Campbell Warehouse. So yeah, now I'm missing one armor bonus. Where the hell is that? Because I only got 29 of them. And remember what I said, there's 30 armor bonuses on the west side. So I must have missed one somewhere. Let me go find it. I'll find it. It's here somewhere. Pretty sure I got that one. I'm pretty sure I got this one. Yeah, I got that one. Okay, I got the one that was over near the forklift. Let's see. I got the one over here. Pretty sure I did. Yeah, I got the one here. There was one here. I got this one. Okay. Let's see. I got the one that was over here. There was one there. Okay. I got the one at the bus stop. Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay, so see, 30 armor bonuses. Okay, so now I got all 3 of the keys. I got 30 of the armor bonuses. So now I'm ready to go across the bridge. Did I get the, yeah, I got those. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, now we're going to the east side. Yeah, going on the east side, people. Okay, there's an ambulance with flashing lights. See? The lights flash. And there's a taxi. There's a fire truck, and the lights do flash on the fire truck. Okay, fire truck. Okay. And then there's 2 police cars here because they're investigating a disturbance. A major disturbance is happening over here on the east side. So, yeah. There's the first health bonus that you collect on the east side. Okay, there's a nice looking red van. I'm loving it. Okay. I'm going to go over here to Safer Way. Now this store here is based on the Safeway that I've been shopping at for several decades. It's a Safeway that's near where I live. And so I decided to draw it in this map. This is based on a real Safeway. A Safeway that I've been shopping at for a few decades now. And it looks just like this. It's laid out in a similar way. Yeah. Okay, so there's a... now that used to give you a blue armor. I decided to change it to a sphere of invisibility. And this used to give you a soul sphere. I decided to change it to a megasphere. And I think you guys will really appreciate that. Okay, so this is the back stock room. Now, it's a known fact that in general, white men can't jump. So if I fall off these damn boxes, I'll have to use the fly cheat command. Because like I said, white man, oh shit, I actually did it without cheating. Usually I have to use the fly command to do it. Oh man, I actually did it that time. That's good. Okay, another taxi, picking someone up from Safeway shopping. Okay, another health bonus should be here. Yeah. It's fun looking for all these health bonuses and armor bonuses. So I decided to leave that in the map. Because people did tell me that they enjoyed that part, those 2 quests. where they run around the map looking for all these damn armor bonuses and health bonuses, you know. They like those quests, so I left them in. And like I said, they will not interfere with any of your mods. Your mods should still work just fine with the map. Yeah. I like the way this red marble, the reflective floor, works on this red marble. It looks really good. Yeah, it looks really good. One of my favorite games for the Commodore 64. There's me with my very first Commodore 64 computer, the entire system, including the printer. Yeah, you can tell like it just came out of the 70s. Got the 70s hairdo, 70s mustache, 70s style clothing, the dark wood paneling on the wall, and yeah. Groovy, man, groovy. This is one of my Atari ST computers. There's one of my joysticks. There's my ugly mug. Now that's my signature in all of my Doom maps. You'll find that picture in every one of my Doom maps because that's my signature. Yeah, that's how I sign my maps. Okay, so we go over here. Now that there is a new building texture. It looks more realistic than the original texture that I had there. I mean, the original texture looked fine, but that one looks more realistic, and so I decided to add that texture instead. See, these are all new street lights. These street lights here, they're all brand new. Cobblestones for all the crosswalks. I think it looks nicer. See, East Side Apartments. East Side Apartments. So you can tell that you're on the east side. Yeah. Anything over here? No. More effective use of dynamic lighting. Okay. Now, some of the soul spheres and blue armors I removed in skill levels 3, 4, and 5. Like that one there is removed. The one that was over here has been removed in these higher skill levels because they're not needed. And, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. Should be a blue, yeah, blue health bonus there. Okay. I'll show you the secrets. Okay. All right. Now in skill levels 1 and 2, you do not get the life sphere. You get the megasphere instead. You only get the life sphere in skill levels 3, 4, and 5. There you go. Now, that there is a new building texture. It looks more realistic than the previous building texture. There was a tree there. I removed it because that tree was blocking the view. It made it hard for the players to see the two arachnotrons that were up there. So I removed that tree. I also lowered that part of the building a little bit so that it makes it easier for the arachnotrons to fire at the player because it's not such a steep angle, but it also makes it easier for the player to shoot at the arachnotrons. Okay, yeah, that right there has been lowered a little bit. Yeah. Okay. The passenger station, you need all 6 keys to enter through that door. All 6 keys to enter that door. Okay. The back of the passenger station. All right. Oh, there should be a health bonus here on the tracks. I forgot to get that one. These tracks are based on real tracks. I've been involved with trains my whole life, so I know trains really well. Model railroading is a hobby of mine, one of my hobbies. And so when it comes to trains, I know a lot about trains. And I know what a real track should look like. And that locomotive that's sitting on the crossing down there, that is based on a real Alco S2 diesel electric locomotive. It's based on a real locomotive. Yeah, it's all drawn to scale too. Okay, forklift, added detailing. The tires, that's added detailing. Okay. This is a custom texture right here. This was actually a piece of clip art that I saw online. It's just a single graphic. I thought, you know what? I wonder if I can shrink that down and use that as a Doom texture. And sure enough, yeah, turned out pretty good. And it's to scale too. So yeah, that turned out really good. Okay, I'm showing you where all the armor bonuses are and all of the health bonuses are. So pay attention. Pay attention. Okay. We'll go into the new grain industry in just a little bit. See how the dynamic lighting makes those lights there really pop? That's why I added them. Now, this megasphere is here no matter what skill level you're playing, in all skill levels. That megasphere is in all skill levels. Yeah, it's in all skill levels. Okay, so got another one here. Quest completed. Report back to the Hans's Balls store. All right. This right here is based on reality. We have a similar waterfront park in downtown Portland, Oregon. I live about, I don't know, about 15 miles away from downtown Portland. I live in Beaverton, Oregon, which is about 15 miles away from Portland. And near the waterfront park, they usually have these portable toilets like that. And they're blue in color. I think they have gray doors like that. They usually have garbage cans near them. So this is all drawn, is all based on reality, including the eateries that are near Waterfront Park. They usually have like a farmer's market. I didn't draw that, but this could like represent a farmer's market. But yeah. Okay, this is where a big battle takes place to get the yellow key. You don't have to do this battle, but if you want to get 100% on everything, I recommend that you do this battle. I'm going to go in backwards. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Now, in order to give a player a fighting chance in ultraviolet mode, I give you 2 sphere of invisibilities. And in skills 1 and 2, I also have a megasphere in here. Okay, and armor bonuses here. Don't forget them. They're in the corners. Don't forget them. Because most players do. They forget them. Okay? Alright, the rest of them are in the grain yard, the grain industry. So I'll throw the switch. Now before in the original HGC map, when you killed the cyber demon, the death of the cyber demon would lower the gate. But if you are using a custom monster mod, and monster packs, they replace the existing Doom 2 monsters. This includes the cyber demon. So if you're using a custom monster mod, then this would no longer work. And players, they did complain about that. They had to use the no clip to get through that damn gate. So now I added a switch right here. You can throw that anytime you want, and it lowers that gate. I'll allow you to exit so that you can use your favorite monster packs. An excellent monster pack to use with this map is any monster pack that has humanoid, like terrorists and humans that you're fighting against. Oh, human monster packs work really well with this city map. Oh yeah. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you the new Campbell grain, right? The Campbell grains. It's a new industry that I added, highly detailed, and it's all based on reality. This is where you'll find 8 of the armor bonuses. One is right there. You'll find another one right here. You'll find another one right here. I think there's 2 on the ships, on the grain ship, and this grain ship is based on a real grain ship. Yeah. See, those are your bins of grains. I forgot what they call those, but that's grain right in there. Yeah. And these things here, they're sticking up in the middle. They have crane arms that protrude out from the inside of those, and they help with the cranes that are part of the silo here to get the grain out of these bins, because those are grain silos right there. Yeah. Now, these graphics I had to custom draw to fit what I needed, like the graphics to make that bridge right there. I had to custom draw all that so that I have what I need, you know, to fit. And the same thing with the graphics for these buildings here. I had to custom draw all those because I didn't have a graphic like that. Okay. So I need to find 2 more armor bonuses, and I'll have all of the I'll have the armor bonus quests completed. Yeah, these are the grain trucks. They're empty. They're going in to the grain silo here to get filled up with grain. And if you notice, I use dynamic lighting to represent the headlights and the tail lights, right? And then once they go through the grain silos, they now have grain in their back gondolas. These are empty trucks here. This truck here is leaving, it's got grain. This truck is leaving, it's got grain. Okay? Also, big grain tanker trucks go through there too. But I don't have such a model, so I had to use gondola trucks. Okay. Quest completed. Report back to Hans's Balls store, which we are going to do right now. I just want to show you the new grain silo area. I think it turned out really good. And the fencing turned out really good. Looks good. See? The new fencing. See how it looks? Yeah, it looks pretty good, I think. And over here, I had to feather it between that building there and the grain silo area. I had to somehow feather that in, right? Yeah, to make it look good. Okay, so now let's go back to the west side, turn in the 2 quests. Might as well grab that, just for the hell of it. Might as well grab these 2. I'll grab these. I don't know why, but I'm grabbing them. I'm grabbing them. Holy crap, there's 103 items. Wow. I didn't realize I put that many items in this map. Of course, I do have it in ultraviolet mode, so... And that also affects your items. How many items are in the map. But see, this locomotive right here, I hand drew that. That's based on a real Alco S2 diesel electric locomotive. See how it's got the steam coming out of that part right there? Just touches of subtle detailing like that. That can make or break your map. And if you don't have graphics, you can use paint programs that allow you to use layers. That's how I did these, so that you can custom make your own graphics for use with what you're trying to make. Like, I didn't have graphics to create that locomotive, right? So I had to make my own. Had to make my own graphics, see? To make it fit. More effective use of dynamic lighting, right there. Now you see why. How do you like my Amiga stores? The Amiga is my favorite computer of all time. But now you see why HGC City is the best map ever created for Doom. And I'm not just saying that to brag or toot my own horn or because I made this map. No. I'm stating that, that's a fact. I'm saying that from a neutral standpoint. I have never found another map as good as this map, as far as a city map, ever. In all the years I've been playing Doom. I'm going to go ahead and grab all of these. I just want to see how many of the items I can get. Out of 103 items, you know? Ah, shit. Okay, well, turn in that question. Campbell Warehouse Door 2 open. Okay. Campbell Warehouse Door 1 open. Okay, so now both of the doors are open. So just go through the shipyard. Well, this looks weird. You know what? I think I'm going to wait till this wears off. Take a sip of my coffee. All right. Let's continue on, shall we? Let's continue on, shall we? Yeah, man. See? Now this door is open. It's dark because the lights are off. Only the exit red lights are on. See, more effective use of dynamic lighting and more detailing, because in a warehouse like this, you would usually have metal around the corners of walls. That protects the corner of walls from the forklifts and from the pallet jacks. Well, they use pallet jacks inside buildings like this. So that's just, you know, subtle detailing that can make or break a map. Subtle detailing like that, right? Okay. Those go up to the upper floors. Right there, those doors there, they go up to the upper floors because it's a 4-floor building. But see the metal that protects the corner of the walls? See, you'd have that in a real warehouse. See? Yeah, keeps the pallet jacks from hitting the damn corners. More detailing right there. See? See? Filing cabinets. And you notice that even the garbage cans change according to where they are at and what they're used for. Like you'd have a garbage can like that for your paper cups. But you'd have a garbage can like that for larger stuff that would be thrown away. Like, you know, cardboard or paper from there or whatever, you know. So yeah, just subtle detailing like that makes all the difference in the world. And so you go out here, and this is, it's actually three businesses. That's Campbell Warehouse, and they have the orange vans and the orange forklift right there. And then the white vans, okay, they belong to that industry there, that business there. And then the red truck and the red vans, they belong to that industry or that business there. Okay? The ocean's there. This is a gated community. Now this house right here is based on the house I live in right now. I've been living in this same house for going on 3 decades. And I used to drive a white van like that. In fact, I'm planning on getting another white van, so I put a white van there. But this is exactly what the house looks like that I'm living in now. It looks just like this. Door locations, window location, everything exactly the same. Garbage cans right there. A little shed I put together out in the backyard. So yeah, I thought that looked pretty cool. And then the rest of the buildings are the same. I mean, same houses, only they have different colored vinyl siding, different colored gutters and roof shingles, you know. Yeah. And if they want to leave this gated community, they just throw that switch there and the gate lowers and they can leave. See? This is where you get. Now this is here in all skill levels, even skill levels 1 and 2. You get the armor sphere, which gives you 800 armor. And over here you get the life sphere, which gives you 800 health. And that gets you ready for the final rooftop battle and for your battle against Thamuz, the boss monster. Well, the final boss. Okay, so that's the new area. This is all new. Right here, right? Go through the shipyard again after you go through all that, right? How do you like my forklifts? They're at an angle, and it breaks up the monotony of those red bricks. You know, it adds more detailing, more interesting detailing. Also, you notice there's no music in this map. I replaced the music with city war zone ambient sound. So that's why you hear the machine guns in the background, you hear explosions, you hear, like, you know, there's some fighting going on in the city, right? Yeah. Okay. See how I use dynamic lighting to for the tail lights and the headlights? I've never seen this done before in any other city map. That's added detailing. It's subtle detailing like that that can make all the difference in the world in your maps. I added flags. These American flags are not in the original map, but you would have flags like that, like in something as important as a passenger station. Okay. There's magazines for people to read while they're waiting for their train. And this is all added detailing. The coffee pot with cups and paper cups, you know, that's all added detailing. The bonsai plants are added detailing. Again, the NPC will appear when you have monsters turned on, so don't worry about that. Another difference is that I got rid of the camera views, forcing the player to wait while they view like what's being seen by the cameras. I got rid of that scripting because that makes the map more mod friendly. So yeah, so now, see, it immediately takes you to the train, and then from the train to the subway, and then from the subway to the rooftop. Now if you notice, I have ambient sound for the locomotive, and it gets louder the closer you get to the locomotive. Listen. See? And the further you get away, the quieter it gets. Just subtle details like that can make or break your map. And this right here is where you fill up on ammo to get you ready for that rooftop battle. The subway. Now, one thing you probably noticed, or maybe you didn't notice, is that as soon as you enter the passenger station, the ambient sound changes. It changes from the city war zone ambience to subway ambience. So listen carefully. You'll hear the subway ambience. And as soon as you walk through the elevator, you walk into the elevator, and you back on the roof, up on a rooftop battle, it changes back to the city war zone ambience. See? Listen to the sounds, the ambient sounds. It's all subway ambience. Now, in a subway like this, once the tracks enter a subway like this, they're no longer on ballast. It's no longer wood ties. It's usually concrete ties on concrete slabs. So this is all drawn it's all prototypical. This is the way a real subway track is drawn, or done, I mean. This is how it's done on a real subway track. More effective use of dynamic lighting, right there. And I did darken the subway a little bit. It was a little bit too bright in the original map. So I darkened it one click to make it just a little bit darker, make it look a little bit nicer. I added more shotgun ammo because people were running out of shotgun ammo. So I added 2 more boxes of shotgun shells. Yeah. Because I don't want players running out of ammo by the time they get to the rooftop. You know, I want them to basically be filled up with ammo. So, yeah. Also, I added, I think there was a megasphere there. I decided, well, I want to change that to a sphere of invisibility. I think that makes more sense, so that it helps you with the rooftop battle in the beginning. Okay, and plus by the time you get to this here, you should already have the life sphere and the armor sphere. So the sphere of invisibility, you would need that more. It makes more sense. Plus I have 2 more boxes of plasma rifle ammo. I want to make sure you're filled up on that. I use a red color setter, sector color setter, because a lot of your elevators in buildings like that, they have red light like that on the inside of the elevator. I've seen that in modern elevators. So that's prototypical. And plus it looks cool. Make use of different colors in your maps, you know. Don't have them all the same color, you know. Okay, but as soon as you go on the elevator, the ambient will change back to the city war zone ambient. Watch. Okay, now in the original version of HGC City, all the monsters were flagged with 666. And so the gate lowering to release Thamuz onto this rooftop, that gate lowered once you killed every monster that was flagged, or tagged, I should say, 666. Only after you killed all the monsters would Thamuz be released. And after you killed Thamuz, of course, it ended the map. Well, if you're using a monster pack, then none of the monsters are tagged 666. And so the gate is lowered right off the bat, and Thamuz is right here as soon as you come up here. And no, I didn't want that. So what I did was I made it, first of all, I got rid of all the custom monsters, and I just added just normal Doom 2 monsters, and they're not tagged. You just kill them all, and after you kill all the monsters, then you throw this switch here. You can do this anytime you want. That lowers the wall, releasing Thamuz. He can go through the teleporter and teleport here in the middle of this rooftop, in the center of the rooftop. Okay, so that's now within the player's control. All right. Now Thamuz, he still ends the map when you kill him. He still ends the map. That hasn't changed. Okay. Another thing I did, now that you have mouse look or free look, and you can actually aim, okay, I put monsters on top of these roofs that fire down at you, like red fireballs, green fireballs, things like that. And I did that. It makes the map more action-packed. This rooftop battle more action-packed. It makes it look more beautiful with the dark sky. You have all those red fireballs and green fireballs coming at you from different Z heights, and just creates a really nice looking effect, a nice looking visual by adding those monsters up there, right? The imps and the Hell and Ice, and I think it's in ultraviolet mode there's a Revenant up there. He's firing his homing rockets at you as leisure, and yeah, it just creates an action-packed air of excitement. And yeah, well, you'll see what I'm talking about when you play the map. Anyway, that's it for this video. In the next two videos, I'm going to do a complete playthrough of this map, HGC City mod-friendly version, in ultra-violent mode. The first video will be the entire west side and the bridge up to Safeway, or Safer Way. And then the second part, I'll finish the map, and yeah, I'll show you that, yes, you can complete this map in ultraviolet mode without dying, without saving all the time, without cheating, and get 100% on everything. Oh, another thing I did was the part-time. Yes, there's a part-time set. On the original HGC map, the part-time was set at 60 minutes. On HGC City Revision 1, the part-time was increased from 60 minutes to 70 minutes, 1 hour and 10 minutes. In HGC City mod-friendly version, the part-time has been increased to 1 hour and 20 minutes. That should give you plenty of time to finish the whole map and get 100% on everything. Let's see if you can do it. See if you can finish this map in ultraviolet mode and get 100% on everything without saving, without cheating, and do it within the part-time of 120 minutes or less. Remember, saving all the time is a form of cheating. And if you have to cheat to play a game, you might as well not play it. You are supposed to play a Doom map. This goes for any Doom map that you play, from start to finish, without ever saving the map, without ever saving your progress. And if you can't do that, if you cannot do that, then maybe you should not be playing GZDoom. GZDoom might be a little bit too difficult for you, and you may need to go back to those Simple Simon maps, you know, I mean, games like Call of Duty and Crisis and Fear and, you know, these other Simple Simon, you know, Half-Life 2, these other crappy games that are easy to play. Maybe you're not ready for the sheer ferocity of GZDoom, especially one of my GZDoom maps. Also, skill levels are implemented in this map, in all of my maps. So if ultraviolet mode is too hard for you, try lowering your skill level. All of you should be able to do this map within the part-time and get 100% on everything, okay, on skill level 1. All of you should be able to play this map in skill level 1. If you can't, you suck at Doom. You might as well stop playing Doom. Okay? Anyway, that's it for this video. My name is Hans George Campbell. And until next time.